What I have just completed is something a little different. I headed off into an incredibly remote part of Western Australia for my isolation fix. The last time I actually did one of these was in 2019, pre-COVID. So this was something I've been looking forward to for a while. But this time, although I was solo, I did actually have a traveling companion. You. So what I did is I just let the camera roll. And I spoke about making content, some of my camera equipment, some of the challenges of solo travel. And as I kind of expected, on my trip, I did suffer from what I like to call benign insanity. Every morning, without fail, talk about, the important things of life. You never know when it's really going to strike. And when it does strike, after it's happened, you realize it's happened. And I think that happened on about day 3. Each episode is cut up into daily episodes. Day 1, day 2, day 3. Morning. Not all of Overlanding is sunshine and rainbows. It's called benign insanity. What happens when you're totally alone and you get nobody to tell you to stop being stupid. I was away for 7 days, but those days were the most interesting days. And some of them actually run quite long. I think day 4 is the show's over an hour long. Anyway, I basically bracketed sunrise to sunset. I missed the sunrise yesterday, so I'm making up for it now. And I think what you'll find now is something that is quite different to anything that I've ever done before. If you are a Patreon, welcome to the show. Download all of these shows, obviously for free. And if you are considering purchasing the series right now, of course, know that your modest amount that I'm charging for this series goes towards supporting more shows like these. The other reason for doing the trip is that I wanted to film a new course for Overland Workshop. This course is free. It's called 7 Habits of Highly Effective Overlanders, and the link to that is in the description. I'm Andrew St Pierre White, explorer, overlander and broadcaster with over 40 years driving 4x4s. Welcome to 4X Overland. I'm a prisoner of this hill. I missed the main one. And I'm going to get back on the road now. Really not my day with the DJI equipment today. I bought a new controller for my purpose of a solo trip. For me, and I think for many, is to enable you to get in touch with yourself. Why would you want to do that? Well, the magical part about it is that you can actually you find yourself appreciating your life more, your blessings, the things that you have, the family that you are going to inevitably miss when you're on a trip. If you miss your family a lot when on a trip, then you need to count yourself lucky. But taking yourself out of your home comfort zone and out of the comfort of relying on other people to look after you or help you look after yourself is a wonderful thing to clarify in one's own mind how blessed, how fortunate you are. And the end result of that is gratitude for what you've got and for what you are. The secret of a solo trip to me is being especially well prepared. When you're on your own, you have nobody to worry about like you would normally do on a trip. You only have yourself to worry about, your safety. That's a double-edged sword. The one side is that there's nobody to look out for you, and so therefore you better do it all yourself. And the other side is that, well, you might have less to do because you've got fewer people to concern yourself with, and concern yourself with their comfort and well-being. But I think that a successful solo expedition starts with very, very thorough preparation. And the way I'm going to do it with my troopy is that I am going to empty it. I'm actually going to take actually that's locked. Find a key. I'm going to take everything out of it. Everything. I'm going to repack it. The list. Camera mount for the windscreen. I make two lists. One list for my camera equipment because of course I am going to do a specific job, and that is to film and share with you my trip. So I have, and that's what I do. So you might have a separate list because you're going fishing or bird watching or volcano spotting. Whatever it happens to be, have a separate list. So every time you get to your list, you're always reminded about why you're really going and what you're planning to do once you're there. For me, it's, well, once I'm there, what am I doing? I'm driving all the way there and I'm driving all the way back. So I'm just driving. My trip will be a driving trip, and that's why I'm doing it. These are new. These are molle webbing, and I'm going to put some equipment on here, probably using these quick fits, and I want some more accessible stuff. For example, my first aid kit, these come with molle at the back webbing, molle webbing at the back, so I want to put them in a place where it's a perfect place for it, really, because, well, you can never not know where it is. My spade, that's for camp toilet, also for protection. If I came across a snake or something like that, that would be my go-to protection. Lighters and stuff for campfires. And what I'm doing here is I've got so many of these scattered around the car, and I sometimes forget where they are because I don't use them very often. And these are the kind of things that instead of that should be on the back here. For example, what have I got in here? Hand warmers, spares for the plumbing system, and cord. I need to find, you see, that doesn't have any way of, now this has, maybe I could make that work, might be able to, because that is not a molle pouch, and I just used cable ties to attach it. So I'll go through my stuff and see if I can find some other of these for this purpose. And they contain camping equipment, spare stuff, duplicate stuff, and I'm looking for bags, straps that I might be able to use in the back. Not sure. I've got some lovely stuff here. This stuff here. It's still a good few weeks before I leave, but when I'm preparing for a trip, I don't do it at the last minute. I basically do it bit by bit. I come up. So that's my hose pipe with standard hose fittings for filling up my water tank. And what I have got here are hose fittings. So that's my favorite. I have yet to be stumped by a tap. Sometimes I'm easy and I just put that on it and it works. Sometimes I gotta be clever. That's cool, isn't it? What I do need to show you, I may have shown you these before, I don't know. Something in the four-wheel drive camping industry that the South Africans still do better than anybody else. Everybody else copies them, not always that well, and that is fire cooking utensils. So this is a adaptation of a triangular unit, which is that. And I've got another one of these, very well used, which is this here. Now this is very well worn, as you can see. Now, there it is there. That's been on countless trips. It's a bit dirty. And this is, I have to tell you, the prototype. It was the very, very first cooking grill with a collapsible handle. And this was one of the prototypes because it was designed by a lady called Charlotte Dutoy. And she was an avid camper and an owner of a camping business in South Africa. And she came up with the idea of a collapsible braai. Now, as I said, a lot of companies copy these, some well and some not so well. This is the Oz braai, and they've actually improved it by putting a triangle in the middle. Means that you can put different size pots on it on a fire. It's just made a little bit better too. That it's stainless steel, and that's a really nice one. And of course they have, same company, made a, I don't know if I've used this one yet. I might not have. No, I haven't. There it is. There is the Osbraai version of Charlotte Dutoy's cooking grid. There it is. Okay, same basic idea. Fantastic. And that goes in my kit, and it comes with its own little triangular, so you put that on the fire and you put the cooking grid on top of it. As you can see, that's still unused. That is my fire cooking kit. I've got in here, for example, my personal locator beacon, the little GM guy. Okay, hope I never have to use it. Of course, knives and things, and I've got to decide which knife I'm going to take, or knives I'm going to take. My GPS plotter, which goes up there. Check at this. That's a patch, Landcruiser patch, that I got at the Salt Lake City Landcruiser Museum. Another thing I have to set up. That's my vlogging camera. So if I turn that on now, you'll see that it'll... So there's the camera there, and that's the microphone is there, and there's a remote device here. It's actually wireless. So I plug my microphone into it, and that is charged by a USB cable, and then the battery there, so you can actually see me now with that camera there holding the GoPro. You get that? Yes, it's upside down, but if I have it upright, then on a corrugated road it tends to wobble. This is, as you can see, very firm. It's very firm. So that is an improvement on the one that I had on the Canning stock route, which is actually mounted here. I am switching over to my main fuel tank, and it wasn't that good. It wasn't that. It was reasonable. It was okay. It did the job. This is better, and you can also, as a viewer, see more of my background. One other thing I've got to do, I've got my phone, and I've got a camera that needs hardware or software, firmware updating, and this is a marvelous piece of equipment, absolutely brilliant. That is the Mavic Pro 3. So I'm going to check now if the firmware is correct on it. Somebody said I should get a vacuum cleaner for my car, and I replied, I got a brush. No, I don't want. Why would I want a vacuum cleaner? Brush works perfectly. And as part of checking this firmware on my drone, I'm going to set up all the batteries here to get charged so that I know that they are well and truly charged, because when shooting these trips, when I'm on my own, I rely on the drone a lot. So I want to build something. I've not done this before. Maybe I should do something now. I need to build something that I can, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build something that I can put on the front seat, that I can put my drone in with a controller. So if I need it, it's up, fly, down, pack, as opposed to getting to the back, opening it up, closing it up. I'm going to find a permanent place for it right there next to me. My final day of packing, and I've made a decision on where I'm going to go. I used a fluorescent pen to show on the map where I've actually been in Australia. There's a lot of reflection on the map, but I hope you can actually see that here is a big area where I've not been. So my decision is, from my home, Kalgoorlie, Lenora, Laverton. I've been on this road before. It's very corrugated, but at this point here at Laverton, not take the Anbedell Highway, but continue north on the Great Central Road, which is gravel, up to Warburton. Warburton, we're going to head either north this way or that way, and we're going to head on the Gun Barrel Highway, and then I'm going to go and explore this area down here, Lake Carnegie, and then drive down here, drive down, perhaps take this road, whatever, not sure, but anyway, explore this area and then head home the same way as I came in.